No more f you, it's January, baby. So after a season of some pleasant highs and some truly embarrassing lows, I'm proud to announce that winter 2026 has brought along a spectacularly crazy lineup. Obviously, all the mainstream nerds will be simping over elf girls and idol dramas, but the real connoisseurs will be standing in the dark corners enjoying the finer things in life. So once again, here's me talking about all the potential Yuri anime debuting this season, and what you can expect from them. Even though there's not too much airing, I think that just by some of these shows existing is a massive deal in the Yuri genre. So God help us if they fumble it in the worst ways possible. Alright, here we go. As usual, let's kick things off with my most anticipated show in the lineup. It's Roll Over and Die. I will fight for an ordinary life with my love and cursed sword. AKA, do you think someone like you can defeat the Demon King? And like all tedious anime titles, this one is predictably based on a light novel. So let's jump into this before I make a witty comment. So the story is about a girl named Flum Apricot, a member of the venerable hero party tasked with taking down the Demon Lord. But you're left scratching your head when you realize that Flum has 0 stats across the board, due to her less than special ability called Inversion. After having enough of her dead weight, one of the members of the hero party sold her into slavery. And after some time had passed, Flum and some other slaves were scheduled to be executed by flesh-eating zombies. Trapped in a cell, the only means of defending herself was a cursed sword hanging on the wall that would melt the skin of anyone who touched it. Out of desperation, she grabbed the paradoxical weapon, but was shocked to see it heal her wounds and boost her stats through the roof instead. It turns out Flum's special ability actually reverses the effects of any special item she uses. So instead of having piss-poor stats and dissolving instantaneously, the sword gave her a stat increase and healed any damages to her body. As the fork said to the power outlet, what a shock. So after dunking on her enemies, Flum asked her survivor to leave with her. Another slave named Mirket, a small and slender girl with bandages all over her face. And now with their future uncertain, Flum and Mirket set off on a perilous journey to reclaim their freedom and kick some assholes in their asshole. Red alert, here comes Hipster Gareth. Yes, I am familiar with this series. Not the light novel, but the manga. The one drawn by Yuri legend Mirakata Sunao. And yes, it is as dark as you imagine it to be. I wouldn't say that there's a lot unique about the story, but the real fun comes from seeing these underdog characters overcome near impossible odds. And of course, the warmth and comfort they provide each other along the way. It's no surprise the majority of the Yuri emanates from our 2 leading ladies. And once again, their story is rife with pain and suffering, which is why it's expected they would come to rely on each other to lift their spirits. I mean, I haven't read that far into the manga, so I don't know if they ever reach a serious relationship, but I guarantee your heartstrings will be tugged. Or at least edged. Also, if you're worried about the moderately high male density of the cast, rest assured this is a case of a Yuri story where girls rule, and guys mostly drool. I mean, I know I'm gonna be drooling for some of these girls. Overall, my only concern is the somewhat mediocre production. It's a similar situation as Watatabe, where it doesn't look necessarily terrible, but it also doesn't scream passionate or top priority either. However, the big difference is that unlike Watatabe, Rollover has a lot of quick-paced action scenes. People are gonna pay more attention to the animation and such, especially someone as snooty as me. Alright, how about something that'll really wet your whistle? It's Does It Count If You Lose Your Virginity to an Android? And true to the title, it tells the harrowing story of a gorgeous office worker named Suda Akane, who found herself on the wrong side of the law when she drunkenly purchased a cleaning robot, only to receive an illegal sex bot instead. Her name was Nadeshko, and this machine's got some quality specs, because not only is she oozing sexual aura, but she'll stop at nothing until she sexes up her hapless protagonist with her state-of-the-art pleasure features. AI is finally taken over, but it turns out the only thing they want is our virginities. It's a glorious day when Yuri and erotica join forces. However, this sweet dish comes with a side of French fries, because it turns out this will actually be a short-formed anime. Most likely just a few episodes that are less than 10 minutes long. If you've done enough research like I did, you'll know that these lewd types of anime typically only get a limited runtime. Though there are exceptions like Valkyrie Drive, Seven Mortal Sins, and of course, gushing over magical girls. And though the quality of these shows is certainly up for scrutiny, at least we're given plenty of time to appreciate the yum-yum. And this series does not beat around the bush. In fact, plenty of bushes are beaten in the process. Maybe the thought 12 episodes of intense lesbian sex would be too much for our tiny brains to comprehend. I mean, the manga already goes insano style with that. But the real shame is that this will almost certainly not meet the same expectations as the manga. Shockingly, it's not just about hardcore sex, but an intimate romance between a somewhat high-strung young lady and her deeply devoted and naive robot maid. And it gets even more dramatic and spicy when a third member enters the fray, who I don't even know if they're going to introduce in the show. In all honesty, this anime most likely exists to serve as eye candy for a little while, and to promote the manga. And I'm not saying that to be cynical, I'm just being pragmatic. Obviously, the manga is great, and the more people who know about it, the better it gets. But I can't help but expect the bare minimum from projects like this when so much of the writing is on the wall. There's not even a trailer for this thing yet. But like I said in the intro, the main saving grace is that this will pave the way for more of its kind. Just the fact that more lewd Yuri anime are popping up gives me hope for a greater future. And now for something a little more wholesome. It's the second season of 'Tis Time for Torture, Princess. And amongst all the dark and sexually charged anime this season, it's nice to see something with more fluff. As a reminder, the series is about a young Hime-sama named Hime, and her trusty talking sword, Excalibur, who are both captured by the dreaded Demon Lord army and forced to suffer through inhumane interrogations, all in an attempt to relinquish Imperial secrets from them. But because this isn't a late-night anime, the so-called torture is actually just the Demon Lord's retainers tempting Hime with ridiculous activities, such as getting to pet fluffy animals, playing fun video games, and most prominent of all, eating delicious mouth-watering meals. How will the poor princess continue to endure these vile human rights violations? Well, no matter what, she'll put on a brave front, and not give in to wickedness, even if they take the form of cute and sexy girls. So I will say that season 1 is one of the most wholesome things I've ever seen, and this has come from someone who specializes in cute girls doing cute things. It does get kinda repetitive though, and I wouldn't say that the jokes are laugh-out-loud hilarious per se, but it does have a consistent quality to it, and knows how to get maximum moe out of its simple premise. Like I said, you get a range of adorable anime girls here, and in my opinion, the highlights come from scenes with Hime and two particular ladies, Torture, Tortura, and Vanilla Pez Chuts. Obviously, Tortura segments are the most abundant, and they provide some of the most visually appealing gourmet scenes outside of Food Wars. You can also ship these two no problem. There's not too much in terms of a relationship, but it's always fun seeing them enjoying each other's company, even when they're partaking in torture time. But the largest slice of the Yuri pie comes from Vanilla and her secret pining for Hime. If you like tsundere lolly vampires, then you'll have a ball with this one. Overall, I'm expecting more of the same stuff as season 1, but with the addition of a new character this time. As long as I keep things fresh now and then and continue pumping out fabulous looking anime food, I'll be A-okay. And finally, let's talk about the anime movie to end all anime movies. It's the long-awaited fourth Madoka Magica film, Walpurgisnacht Rising. And this would normally be the part where I babble on about the story, but I still have no goddamn idea what this thing's gonna be about. Obviously, we can speculate until cows fly out of our ass, but every trailer so far is still extremely vague. Now, since I made that last trailer breakdown video, we got 2 more trailers. And again, not too much in terms of info, just a lot of crazy, stunning visuals. And because I'm a lazy and because you have to be a troglodyte to not know a single thing about it, I'm not gonna go over the extensive events of the anime that led up to the sequel. All we know so far is that Homer has apparently stripped of her devil powers. Somehow, while Walpurgisnacht returned, there are multiple other Homers hanging around, a bunch of new magical girls show up, Sayaka is now a chuuni, and lots of tea parties take place. That was like a game of Mad Libs. But another safe bet is that Homer will be your usual Madoka-loving self. You can always count on our favorite misunderstood magical girl to make the world a better place. For one pink-haired individual, that is. I mean, is there really anything else that needs to be said about the Yuri? These two are basically the face of Yuri shipping during the 2010s. They're like the Michael Jordan of Yuri. We can only hope that we're living in a timeline where they can finally be happy together. But even more important is that this was our final opportunity to stop teasing Kyosaya. For those who don't know, Kyoko and Sayaka is my one true OTP.
Tell him to call me ASAP as possible.
Nothing compares to my love of these two star-crossed lovers. And I can't even begin to tell you how feral I am just imagining them on the big screen again. My only question is why make another movie now? I mean, Rebellion is gonna be 13 years old soon. It's old enough to call you a noob on Fortnite. At this point, it does seem like it should be the final hoorah of the series. Give these characters a proper send-off. I mean, they obviously mean a lot to many people. Now, to be honest, I'd be lying if I said I wasn't worried about it, given the shitload of times this movie was delayed. And the fact we know next to nothing about it makes me slightly nervous. But I guess we have to trust those crazy bastards at Shaft to do the right thing. Speaking of that, happy 50th birthday, Shaft. You're now old enough to complain about those darn Gen Zers, and how AI will be used by terrorists to plant subliminal messages about rubbing our assholes with shungite in order to revert us to a voodoo-based society again. No, I'm not high right now, just very quirky and paranoid. So how do you like them apples? I know I wasn't all that positive throughout this video, but I really just want these Yuri projects to be of a high standard. If you don't receive criticism or feedback, then you'll just believe that you can do no wrong. And I don't know about you, but I don't want to live in a world where every Yuri anime ends up being mundane, pretentious slop. Anyway, some big time Yuri stuff will be coming out very soon. And what a way to start the new year, huh? As always, let me know if there are any anime I missed or any that got you psyched up. There aren't 2 other shows that I might watch though, but I'm pretty sure there aren't any Yuri in either of them. Regardless, the premise for each is intriguing, and obviously they star hot anime girls. What more can you ask for? Alright, see you around.